Alright, 36, 39, 42. Here we're supposed to factor each polynomial. I would like to call to your attention that each of these expressions has 4 terms in them. 4 terms. So basically what we're going to do is we are going to factor by grouping. And this is how grouping works. You take and group each of these into 2 sets of 2. And so taking 36 at first, we're going to find the greatest common factor between these 2 terms. I'm looking at 3 and 18. I'm thinking, gee, 3 is the largest number that fits into 3 and 18. And between t squared and t, it's t. On the inside of this parentheses then, what would I multiply 3t by to get 3t squared? The answer would be t. Then what would I multiply 3t by to get 18t? And I would say 6. Okay? Now notice we already have a t plus 6 here. So the multiply here is just going to be 1. So as in our previous exercises, we have 2 terms. And the common factor between the 2 terms is t plus 6. So if we get rid of those 2 factors, we're left with 3t plus 1. 3t plus 1. And we're done. We just factored that polynomial. Going to the second group, same process. Greatest common factor between 5r and 10 is 5. What would I multiply 5 by to get 5r? R. And how about 10? I would multiply 5 by 2. Okay? Finding the greatest common factor here, let's see, is probably going to be r. So if I go r, that leaves me with 2 minus r. Well, wait a minute. Here we have r minus 2. Here I have 2 minus r. If I had factored out a negative r, then this would have become a negative 2, because a negative times a negative is a positive. And then if I had multiplied a negative r, or factored out negative r from a negative r squared, that would have made that a plus r. And now, all of a sudden, I've got 5 r minus 2 plus negative r minus 2. So here is my common factor between these 2 terms. So I have r minus 2. And if I cross those out, what's left is 5 minus r. There's that one. Okay? So, going now, going now to 42. So, the greatest common factor here is 3h, leaving me with 4 inside. And then I have here a minus h. So here I have an h minus 4. This is somewhat the same problem I had up here, or up in the one above. I want the 4 to be positive and the h to be negative. So if I factor out a negative 1, that's going to switch these around. The 4 now becomes positive, the h now becomes negative, and now I have common factors. So my common factor between these 2 terms right here is 4 minus h, 4 minus h, and what's left is 3h minus 1. There you go.